morning and welcome to Love Every Moment, coming to you today from the Black Hills of South Dakota. Today's verse is 1 Corinthians 13:6, and I'll start with the word love does not rejoice in unrighteousness, but rejoices with the truth. Now, if you were asking me to define love, I would have said something like, well, you have feelings for someone, or you care about somebody, or something to that effect. I would not have chosen this stuff about unrighteousness and truth, not as a definition of love. So it's very interesting that this is included, and we need to find out why that is. As I was looking about this, I noticed through the Bible that truth and unrighteousness are used as basically opposites in a good dozen or so scriptures, and we're going to go through some of those. If you would have asked me what's the opposite of truth, I probably would have said falsehood, and I'm sure that's still true. That's funny. But let's look and see how the Bible uses this. Oh, let's take a journey here. The first one is John 7:18. He who speaks from himself seeks his own glory. We're going to get to that too. But he who is seeking the glory of the one who sent him, he is true, and there is no unrighteousness in him. See the contrast of truth and unrighteousness. Notice it's because they're seeking the glory of the one who sent him. Romans 1:18. For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men who suppress the truth in unrighteousness. So suppressing the truth is definitely an act of unrighteousness. Romans 2:8. But to those who are selfishly ambitious, notice selfishly ambitious, we're going to again get to that, and do not obey the truth but obey unrighteousness, wrath and indignation, there will be tribulation and distress for these people. So interesting that it says they obey unrighteousness. Isn't that interesting? They obey unrighteousness because they're not obeying the truth. And now a long series of scriptures, 2 Thessalonians 2, starting in verse 7. My main verse is verse 10, but let's start at 7. For the mystery of lawlessness, by the way, this is in context of how do we recognize the Antichrist. For the mystery of lawlessness is already at work, only he who now restrains will do so until he is taken out of the way. Then that lawless one will be revealed, from whom the Lord will slay with the breath of his mouth and bring to an end by the appearance of his coming. That is, the one whose coming is in accord with the activity of Satan. Notice this, with all power and signs and false wonders. There's a lot of Christians that chase after signs and wonders and miracles when we should be chasing after God's love. It's deceptive, and that leads us to the main verse. And with all the deception of wickedness for those who perish because they did not receive the love of the truth so as to be saved. For this reason, God will send upon them a deluding influence so that they will believe what is false, in order that they may all be judged who did not believe the truth, but took pleasure in wickedness. So this is very theoretical at this point. What does that mean practically? Well, I can think about a section in the Bible in 1 Corinthians 5 that talks about a church that was actually celebrating the fact that some guy was sleeping with his father's wife, I guess his stepmother, in the idea of being free in Christ or something like that. And Paul has to slap that down. No, that's not the truth. That's unrighteousness. Remember, I pointed out several times that it said there were selfish ambitions. If it's all about me, then I'm not obeying the truth. I'm not in love with the truth. I'm in love with myself. And that is basically what unrighteousness is. So remember that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. And if we fall in love with the truth, that is with Jesus, then we're not going to be in love with ourselves, which means we're not going to be self-righteous. We're not going to have that ungodliness. So let's love Jesus with all our heart, because if we love every moment, we're going to love every moment. I'm your average wretch, and I hope you have a great week.